Hi, this is Tim from bn-games.com, and we're here doing another classic capture. This time we're doing House of the Dead 2 for the Sega Dreamcast.
Yes, this is the sequel to House of the Dead 1, which was on the Sega Saturn, which is a rare game.
The 2 implies it.
Yes, I'm pretty sure about that.
2 is after 1.
We've actually done Typing of the Dead, which was House of the Dead 2 with keyboards. And I'll be honest with you.
And Dreamcast backpacks.
Get
that right.
With giant batteries. I actually prefer that game to these days, but well, we'll get into it with this game.
Yeah.
So just to give a little recap, House of the Dead 1 was released on the Sega Saturn. It was not. It's a fairly rare game. In fact, that game, from a collector standpoint, goes for something like $70-$80 average.
I almost got a copy.
Even the Japanese version goes for a lot of money, and most Japanese imports are much cheaper.
Because of localization and language.
But even that version goes for $40-$50 easily. So that game is really expensive. This game you can pick up for $5 to $6 without the case. Let's say $15 in perfect condition, and that's high. That's high.
Yeah, and mind you, these games are still relevant today. I mean, you can still find them at a lot of arcades because this is just the basic port of the arcade version for the home. It's also one of the first games, I think, for the Dreamcast to actually use a light gun.
Yes, we do not have the light guns. We're actually playing this all with the controller.
Which was a bad idea.
Man, that was...
we had to go through it a second time when we sped up the sights.
I don't remember the aiming being so slow and stiff.
You know what it is? I'll be honest with you. I think I figured this out. We live in an age where 2 analog sticks and first-person shooters. You have so much speed.
It's not only that, but it's also that modern joysticks and aiming style
is so much faster and precise.
It's just an advanced version. Because even if you play House of the Dead 3 on the Xbox, it's still faster than this.
Yeah, for its day, I'm sure it felt fast because you were used to it back then.
Yeah, but I mean, we kind of got back into our rhythm here. Also, mind you, we're not using a code and we're not using like a power up because you see how the bullets are going. Like we're just hitting A and B at the same time, so it reloads and shoots at the same time.
Anyone who played this game knows this.
Yeah, it makes the game a little easier.
This is actually Marco's first time playing the console version.
Yes, it was. Well, for this one, I played Typing.
Yeah, mind you, when I first got my Dreamcast, this was one of the games I sunk hours into.
Well, both of us.
I mean, at playing this, I felt so bad because I'm so out of practice on it.
And the acting is still as terrible as ever, but is acceptable.
It seems worse, but yes, it is acceptable.
I should also mention that Marco hates survivors. He has a problem with that.
Yes, they will all die because they're all carriers. They all have they can tell me otherwise. They're all infected. I know.
Marco's playing his second player right now, and Tim is playing his first player. The first level.
I'm blue Timmy's red.
Yeah. Hey, you're blaming Marco. I just killed the guy.
But no,
I'm the one who kept killing everyone.
We had like 2 hours worth of footage to go through, and most of the shots that killed civilians were Marco's.
Hey, they were coming right at me. I saw the way they were looking. They're like, this guy looks like he's good to eat.
I will say though I did do a lot better playing with Bob. This is kind of a game there. The guy playing on your team, you need to kind of have a flow with.
Well, you need to memorize. That's what.
Well, besides the memorization, I mean, depending on who you're playing with, you can do better in the game. Because you don't have to pick up their slack as much.
See, Marco, he killed it. It was a child.
Was he or was he not running right at me?
He was running from Kurt Cobain.
He was running right at me. Okay.
So this was released on the Dreamcast in the 2000s, early 2000s.
We're in an age where we can see the 2000s. You realize that we're 12 years from 2000.
It was released shortly after the Dreamcast, which was $9,999.
Yay!
Actually, 3 days before Timmy's birthday.
Yeah, because I got it.
2 days.
I got it for my birthday.
Yay!
Yep. And this is not our original copy. I actually picked this up for about $6.
I have his original copy.
Asshole.
And his copy of Shenmue.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if you buy Dreamcast, you have to buy this just for the simple fact.
Yeah, this is just like a game that's a standard. It has to be in your collection. It's like Mario 1.
This was actually also released on the Wii, which allows you to use Wiimotes as the light guns, and that's blasphemy as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, even the House of the Dead 2 port on the Xbox that came with House of the Dead 3 was not as good as this one.
And House of the Dead 3 also is not as good as this one, I personally think.
You know what? I like it almost. No, there's a style here, but I will say I like 3. 3 I had no problem with. I thought 3 was a good follow-up.
I will say now 4 is terrible. And here's a little thing. Went to Las Vegas. Someone put in probably about $100 worth of quarters into the House of the Dead 4 machine, and I played it there. I finished it at the
Sahara.
At the Sahara. Yeah, it was the
Sahara.
And and the arcade version was okay. The new console port that was on the PS3, I played that one, was terrible. And the remake for 3 was okay.
House of the Dead 2 and 3 Return on the Wii.
That's blasphemy as far as I'm concerned.
No, that's what I mean. I mean, 3 on the Xbox I thought was fine. 4 at the arcade is good. Not quite what these were back in the day, but especially because, I mean, in all of them the story really never changes. You're just looking for Goldman.
Also, my man,
which is just like Wesker's father or something.
They call it House of the Dead. It should be City of the Dead.
Well, the first game was House of the Dead.
The first game, well, this one should be City of the Dead.
No, because this one you're going through houses.
In a city.
I want to know what city this is. Is this like Italy? Because this is the only thing.
There are a lot of aqueducts.
I do believe they mention that somewhere. I do believe. I don't know for sure. I mean, if you know, let us know in the comments or something. But I do believe it is mentioned somewhere.
Right now we're playing original mode. This is I'm second player now and Tim is first. Arcade mode is exactly that, standard arcade mode. You got lives, you shoot things. Original mode for the console was allowed you to have certain power-ups, certain add-ons, which you can see here. There was also a higher emphasis on collecting secret items that were hidden in jars.
Yeah, because you stack them up and you could use them in another playthrough, like infinite ammo, shotguns, machine guns,
and
reload.
With tasteful editing, I'm playing the second level, which would have came after the first one, but it's now in the original mode.
Damn, that was pretty tasteful.
It was. And that guy's pretty.
See,
cool.
He was coming right at you in a car, but you didn't kill him. He could have run you over.
It was a red car.
If I were playing, I would have taken care of that.
It was a red car, though.
I have tried for years.
That means his insurance rates are slightly higher.
That's true.
Not really.
Oh, isn't it with this sports car?
He didn't technically crash, so.
He's a pretty good driver. He's a good driver discount.
Also, he's part of Allstate.
That one guy, you can hear his voice. You can hear his voice.
He's got a phobia of geckos.
Yes.
Yeah, another thing, I mean, kind of with the bosses on these, I mean, for their time, they were pretty creative. 3 still had a couple creative bosses, but, like, 4 and the later ones in 3, they kind of just lost it. I mean, it just kind of like, oh, well, let's just bring back this boss from the previous game. Yeah. It's got Mega Man syndrome there.
I will say for a Dreamcast game, visually, it still looks pretty good considering.
Yeah.
But as we've said before, Typing the Dead, which is practically the identical game.
Well, it was made by the same guys. It was made to be the same basis.
I'm just saying that if you had a choice, I
really feel sad here because we told him we'd rescue your dad.
We'll rescue your dad. Let him die.
And I'm like, the lock, did the lock, and then too late.
I thought the door was gonna open. I completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
Let's go, Gary.
I will say
they couldn't even.
I will say I also like the parts of this game where you can switch up the paths, which does give this game like a lot of replay value.
Yeah, when me and Timmy played it, we didn't
we didn't hit the key.
We missed the keys, so we actually went through a different path.
Although I will say it does shorten this level quite a bit, because there is a way to speed run this game if you get like the exact center path. You can actually, cut this game like in half almost.
I think
always gotta love these survivors that, they're standing by a window. They can't keep running.
Remember what you said? That was the manliest woman you've ever heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was.
I should also mention, I think, from a control perspective, I know we mentioned it's stiff. I think the thing that helped alleviate that was using the D-pad instead of the analog stick.
Using the D-pad and then putting the reticles at full speed.
Yeah. The combination helps, but if you've never played the game before, or if you played it, you're likely going to be surprised. You're likely going to be.
But also, I mean, if you're used to shooting games, you just need that speed on there because that speed is almost like a normal or slow for current day shooters.
Yeah, I'm hitting A and B at the same time here, just you hear reload.
Yeah, no. I will say though, I do like this version of the boss better than the first version, or the normal one if you don't get the key.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And also going through this, it kind of reminds me of one of the levels in Uncharted 1.
Kinda, yeah, I see that.
It really reminds me of that. I just want to start climbing on everything.
I want Sonic to come out of nowhere.
I honestly would have thought that could have happened. I mean, it is a Sega game.
Yeah, it's Sega first-party game, so.
Yeah, I could honestly see that. Zombie Sonic.
This was in the era of Sega's arcade dominance. There was this, there was Crazy Taxi,
I will also say I like this rave music that happens for all the bosses. The only problem is it never changes. Same music, boss.
The audio mix was terrible too. Although I'd rather hear the music than the horrible acting.
Yeah.
The G is over there.
What I always hated was Goldman because it's like
dogs.
Yeah. It's like hearing Wesker in a literal translation.
I like Wesker better.
I like Wesker better too. I'm just saying.
I'm also reiterating. Yeah, and the bosses aren't too tough. It's all about memorization. As long as you memorize and you can get around the stiffness, which we're still having some issues here.
Yeah, because I'm actually sure that there are some people that have played this game so much that they know exactly where to put the crosshair on the screen to shoot.
I'm sure there's a perfect speed run where they don't get hit at all. I mean, that's I'm sure that exists.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do that.
I'm not gonna play this game as much as I used to.
I played my share of this game in high school.
Yeah,
high school.
I remember. I mean, this was one of the games besides Sonic Adventure and Shenmue that got most of the time on my Dreamcast.
Yeah. Alright, everyone. Well, that's House of the Dead 2 for the Sega Dreamcast. If you own a Sega Dreamcast, you owe it yourself to pick it up. It is extremely easy to find, extremely cheap. And it's better than the first game, I think, as well.
Although typing is still better.
If you get a chance. If you haven't watched our typing, I'll link it in the description. But yes, typing is the better of the games.
This game's still worth it.
Yeah. So please subscribe and let us know what you think. Thank you.
Standard death scene.